was still on active duty when I received the divorce papers. I couldn't believe it. The thought that my wife could actually do this had never even occurred to me. My name is Ryan Cole. I'm a U.S. Army captain, 6 tours, 11 years, countless sleepless nights, all for my country. But this story isn't about what happened in combat. The real war began when I came home. I was nearing the end of my last deployment in Afghanistan. "You've earned some good rest," my CO said. I nodded, but something deep inside me felt off. My wife Lauren had grown distant. Letters had stopped coming. Our video calls were rare and her voice lacked warmth when we did talk. Maybe I was overthinking it. Maybe not. When I finally got back to DC, I unlocked the front door and stepped inside. Silence greeted me, not the peaceful kind, but the kind that screamed. Lauren was gone. Half the closet was empty. A man's cologne lingered in the bathroom. And on the kitchen table, a single envelope. Inside were divorce papers. At first, I just stood there, numb. Then reality hit. Lauren hadn't just filed for divorce. She drained our joint account, shut down my payroll card, and listed our house for sale. It felt like she'd erased me. But I had suspected something. Before deployment, I'd acted on a gut feeling. I set up a separate account and quietly rerouted part of my pay. I stored copies of our important documents in a secure deposit box. Those precautions, they became my lifeline. I didn't know where to start. So I called Amelia Green, an old friend and a damn good lawyer. When she looked at the documents, her face tightened. "These signatures aren't yours, Ryan," she said. And that was the moment I stopped being heartbroken and started getting angry. Quietly angry. Because I knew this wasn't just betrayal, it was fraud. We dug deeper. Lauren had forged my name to take out a $45,000 loan against our house. On the paperwork, she listed a fiancé, someone named Marcus Lane. That name rang a bell. Marcus had a record. He'd served time for conning 2 other military spouses. Now, it looked like he was back at it. And Lauren? She wasn't his victim. She was part of it. Since the house hadn't sold yet, we had time. With Amelia's help, I installed hidden cameras in key parts of the house. A few weeks later, Lauren and Marcus came by to check on the place. They talked openly about forging documents, targeting other deployed soldiers, and selling homes dirt cheap through a realtor who was in on the scam. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just watched and whispered, "Now it's my turn." We took the evidence straight to the FBI. They opened an investigation immediately. Marcus and Lauren weren't working alone. An unscrupulous real estate agent named Eliza Trent was helping them sell homes under market value and split the profits. The victims, all deployed service members. At least 14 of them. I wasn't the only one. That's when I stopped thinking of this as a personal battle. This was bigger than me. This was about justice for every service member who trusted someone back home and got burned. The FBI's takedown came quietly, early one morning. Marcus and Eliza were arrested. Lauren was given a choice: cooperate, return the money, forfeit all rights to the house and my retirement. She took the deal. In court, I was asked if I wanted to say anything. I stood up and said, "I fought for my country. I didn't think I'd have to fight for my home. But when I came back, I realized the war wasn't over. And sometimes the deepest wounds are the ones waiting for you at your front door." I left DC and moved to a quiet mountain town in Montana. I built myself a cabin with my own 2 hands. I didn't bring much, just what I needed. For a while, the silence felt heavy. Then one day the phone rang. Then again and again. They were all soldiers like me, betrayed, lost, angry. That's how Out of the Shadows was born. A support group for service members who came home to nothing, or worse. We meet once a month. We talk. We listen. We heal. Some guys are still overseas. Some never went back after what they came home to. But all of us share one thing in common. We weren't abandoned. We were blindsided and silenced. Not anymore. Now we speak, because sometimes justice isn't found in courtrooms, but in the promise you make to yourself when no one else is watching. In the early days, the silence of that mountain cabin in Montana felt peaceful. But silence has an echo, and that echo always brought back the past. One morning, I found an old box while sipping my coffee. Inside were letters Lauren and I had exchanged, a few photos, and a hand-drawn map, our so-called life plan. Kids, a move to the countryside, a small farmhouse, all sketched out in pencil. Just like life, easy to erase. That day, I realized something. I didn't have to forgive her, but I also didn't have to carry the weight of it anymore. I folded the map and tossed it into the fireplace. As the flames rose, I whispered to myself, "This time, I'm charting my own course." The group I started, Out of the Shadows, began as just a few voices in a quiet room. But it didn't stay small for long. One day, a fellow Army captain reached out. He was referred by someone who'd heard my story. Then came a Navy vet. Then someone from the Air Force. Each story was different, but the pattern was the same. Came home to find a house sold. She filed for divorce while I was deployed. Haven't seen my kids in years. I wasn't just listening anymore, I was fighting for them. Amelia, my lawyer, had become our volunteer legal advisor. We built a legal support network. Eventually, even the Pentagon took notice. New protections for deployed service members were being drafted, quietly, but seriously. That day, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I may not wear a uniform anymore, but I'm still on the front lines. This time, it's a different kind of battlefield. One cold winter day, there was a knock at my cabin door. I opened it and saw someone I hadn't seen in years. Lauren's mother. She held a small wooden box in her hands. She was diagnosed with cancer a few months ago, she said softly. She didn't tell anyone, but she asked me to find you. She didn't have the courage to reach out herself. Inside the box was a letter, handwritten in Lauren's unmistakable handwriting. Ryan, I know what I did to you, all of it. Don't forgive me, just know. You were right, you were strong, and I never was. That day, I cried, maybe for the first time. But I didn't put her letter in another box. I placed it among the ashes of those old dreams, the ones I had burned long ago. Because some stories don't need closure, they just need silence. Everyone has a moment when they're lost in the dark. Everyone walks through their own shadow at some point. My name is Ryan Cole, and now I know the quietest battles lead to the strongest victories. My name is Ryan Cole. I'm a soldier. But in this story, my only weapon was patience. My only armor was silence. And my greatest victory? Taking back the truth. Well, now you know one of my deepest secrets. If this video meant something to you, please like and subscribe to support me. To everyone who stood by me through it all, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May God have mercy on us all.